Welcome back to the Roundtable. I'm AwestruckVox, and the OKKO special crossover Nexus was a love letter to not only Cartoon Network as a whole throughout the years, but all of its fans throughout the ages. While I was sitting on the couch watching this special, I was grinning from ear to ear, nearly moved to tears by the episode's end. It was a rush of nostalgia with glimpses of shows to come. And if you clicked on this video, that means you're here on this journey with me to break it down for all the Easter eggs, references, and nods it's worth. And oh my god, there are so many. All of those years being a Cartoon Network fan paid off. Now shout out to fellow content creators Nintendo, Robotaxi, and longtime internet friend Carter Beja on Twitter for helping me clarify some of these that I caught but weren't exactly sure of their names or origins. Also, Kian World on Twitter for compiling everything after I finished writing the script into a nice little doc. Allowed me to find a few more things I missed. And of course, spoiler warning if you haven't seen the special yet. What are you doing? Alright, let's dive in. Now to add much more of an atmosphere and save on time, this episode of OKKO opts out of displaying the traditional theme song for a shortened, dramatic rendition. This is also the first time OKKO does not have its title card splash into the screen like an episode of Naruto, instead displaying this epic graphic from the jump. Obviously, the C in the end and crossover Nexus are nabbed straight from the Cartoon Network logo. This special opens up in a destroyed environment that may seem a little familiar to older viewers in the audience. Just as we theorize, the main setting of the special is none other than the destroyed Sea City from the 2004 to 2006 Cartoon Network bumpers that would play in between commercials, produced by Animal Logic. The Sea City is without a doubt the most iconic of Cartoon Network's branding throughout the years, as it incorporated all the shows airing on the network at the time, even the imported animated series from across the globe, and put them all under one big roof, or utopia in this case. If you check online, I'm sure you'll find petitions that continue even to this day, requesting a return to this format, many viewing it as the quintessential look for the channel. Sadly, that's a mere pipe dream, as this sort of animation was not cheap, and considering how intricate and attention to detail these were, I don't see modern day Cartoon Network putting in that kind of money and resources for 15 to 30 second bumpers. I know, the heart aches. A cool part about Sea City was that it incorporated many elements from various Cartoon Network shows. A staple was various landmarks from Townsville, as we can see the sign of Mouths, a grocery store parodying Ralph's, and ruins of Townsville Hall in the establishing shots. The candy store from Ed and Eddy can also be seen. The fading graffiti of this cube-headed figure appears to be a reference to another era of Cartoon Network branding, although not in the US, but in Latin America. The Tunics era. It was very similar to another era that makes a cameo later on, but just a little bit different. That's right, Ian JQ and his team made their appreciation for Cartoon Network international for this outing. Moving on, we meet the antagonist of this event, Strike, who I mentioned before looks like an amalgamation of Red X, Hex, and the Winter Soldier, raining havoc on peculiar silhouettes. Garnet from Steven Universe, and Ben Tennyson from, well, Ben 10. As Strike calls for Garnet and Ben, we can see more graffiti referencing Cartoon Network's past, with the Cartoon Network Fridays logo, the weekly Friday night blog that ran from 1999 to 2007, and the Tickle You logo, Cartoon Network's bizarre attempt at a preschool morning blog from 2005 to 2004, consisting of various imported shows like Harry and His Bucket Full of Dinosaurs, Peppa Pig, and Firehouse Tales. We get a view of the destroyed Acme building, while Garnet flawlessly evades Strike's attacks, causing him to move on and summon another hero to satisfy his bloodlust. In doing so, we get a view of two fallen protagonists in his control panel, Jake the Dog from Adventure Time and Prohias from Mighty Magiswords. KO abruptly joins the battle. Garnet and Ben come to his aid, and the now formed trio escape. KO struggles to find power cards on Garnet and Ben, and remarks it's rustling his jimmies, a somewhat dated early 2010s internet term that, as implies, simply bothers someone. Yes, we're behind the meme now. Garnet's introduction unravels a portrait of Steven and the Crystal Gems in action. Now, I hate to be a downer, but yikes, coloring errors! Pearl's star is blue, and Amethyst, despite being drawn her third generation as of the Steve Universe episode Crack the Whip, dons the color scheme of her second regeneration. Although it's neat they had their bismuth weapon upgrades. The backdrop of Ben's introduction is also a nod to the 2016 Ben 10 concept art's background. As we cited in our breakdown of this special's promo, Ben dons his new upgraded Omnitrix from the upcoming Season 3 premiere, which aired in other countries already. USA can't be first all the time. Ben's Omnitrix gets zapped by Strike's pen, keeping him trapped as forearms. Fitting, as he's definitely one of Ben's most iconic alien transformations, maybe being rivaled by Heat Blast. Garnet also loses her visor, leading her to reveal the canon fact about her that E&JQ teased on the Steven Universe podcast. Garnet's visor gives her the clarity and focus she needs to use her future vision. They essentially function not as a gem weapon, but as a gem accessory, aiding her abilities in both combat and everyday use. This isn't an episode of Crystal Clear though, so more on that at a later time. Also, their prescription. As the trio enters an abandoned building, Ben exclaims, "New, new, new, new," a nod to the short-lived Cartoon Network programming block that hosted premieres, lasting from September 2017 to April 2018. And considering how recent it was, it's still stuck in my head. New, 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 new. Now this building and parking lot itself actually isn't from CN City proper, but dates back to 1999, from a bumper during the Powerhouse era. They did some digging for this. The building is actually better known as Cartoon Network Studio, but not like the actual one in Burbank. As Ben clears the entrance, we can see more block graffiti. This time, the 2012 revival of Cartoon Planet. Shout out to Zorak and Brack. Ben gets startled by petrified Festro, and along the way he passes nods to do what would happen. Wow, they actually acknowledge seeing real. Or possibly the Check It 1.0 era of Cartoon Network. Dexter's Lab, the Powerpuff Girls, and Har Har Thursdays. Remember that programming block? It was the beginning of a descent from Friday night premieres into the insanity we have now. Other defeated turn-to-stone characters include High Five Ghost from Regular Show, Robot Jones, so that's what happened to him. Moxie from The Moxie Show, Yumi from Hi Hi Puffy Yumi, Chowder, Alana from Sym-Bionic Titan, Schnitzel from Chowder, and Weasel from I Am Weasel. As a very unflattering Garnet explains the fate of the characters before us, we can spot quite a varied cast of characters, old and new, some from cartoons that haven't even premiered yet. One from Infinity Train, Juniper Lee, Frankie Foster, Jake Spider Monkey, Double D, Duncan from Fire Breather, Alf from The Problem Solvers, Grim from The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy, Octus from Sym-Bionic Titan, Chicken from Cow and Chicken, two characters from an unaired Cartoon Network pilot, The Fancies, Captain Knuckles, Tiki from Ticklewinks, Talking Dog from Powerpuff Girls, Periwinkle from the 2004 pilot Periwinkle Around the World, Courage the Cowardly Dog, Kiva from Megas XLR, and Rex from Generator Rex. Graffiti on the wall of these two shots reference the fall era, Dexter and Velma's names under an umbrella, a nod to an old school promo where Dexter and Velma bonded over science before Johnny Bravo swooped in and stole her attention, the television on rocket fuel slogan that stemmed from Space Ghost Coast to Coast, used in various Cartoon Network promos in the late 90s and early 2000s.
It's television on rocket fuel.
The letter is JBVO, referencing the programming block Johnny Bravo hosted in the early 2000s. You guys may recall the fascination with the once lost Dragon Ball Z episode of the block.
Okay, now back on Earth, those Namex dudes are recuperating. There's that guru guy. Oh, yeah.
Snishiga from The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy, Clyde 49 from the Motar era of Tanami, love that OG logo, and Cookie Cat from Steven Universe. As the gang moves through the studio, we can spot Carl from Johnny Bravo, Jorel's brother from Jorel's brother, another international property, Larry 3000 from Time Squad, Major Ghastly from Evil Con Carne, Gumball, Number 5, Valentino from Victor and Valentino, Blastus from Robotomy, Rodney from Squirrel Boy, that's a deep cut, Hedgehog from Summer Camp Island, Laszlo, Jake, Grizz, Prohias, Aaron, the human host of the programming block Maguzi that replaced Toonami on weekdays back in 2004, Sheep from Sheep in the Big City, Jeff from Clarence, Kelsey, Mortimer, love how they're both individually crossed out, Double D, Lou from Mike, Blue, and Og, King Rufus from Long Live the Royals, the Cartoon Network miniseries from 2014. That never became a full series, what a tragedy. Long live indeed. Golly Gopher from Reanimated, aka Out of Jimmy's Head. Remember that? Yeah, that's all I'm gonna say on that. This cat-like figure could be a character from Parker Simmons' animation, I Love You Mau Mau, considering this was the last OKK episode he boarded on. Greg and Jason from Order of the Garden Wall, Monkey from Dexter's Lab, and Black Hat from Villainous. The show is called Villainous. How is he a hero? We can also see the logo for Cartoon Cartoons, the brand Cartoon Network used for the original series from 1996 to 2003. Also used for the programming block Cartoon Fridays. Shorties, the programming block of shorts that aired on Cartoon Network throughout many years. Posters for Adventure Time, Samurai Jack Season 5. Now this is not a poster, but graffiti for Vacuum Head from the Animate Your World promo in 1997. Posters for Steven Universe, Johnny Bravo, Regular Show, We Bear Bears, Ed, Edd and Eddy, Craig the Creek, and Gumball. KO trying to pin where the mysterious voice came from on Ben is a nod to the fact that Tara Strong voices both Ben and Raven. Easy joke, but it amused me. More graffiti for Super Chunk, a programming block of marathons that ran from 1994 to 2001, and shortly revived in 2009, and the Yes branding from 2006. Good old Fred Fredberger.
Cartoon Network.
Yes!
As Raven joins the fray, we see posters for Billy and Mandy and Ben 10 2016. Raven's brief flashback of Cartoon Network City allows us to see some updates, such as Chowder's house, the Park from Regular Show, and Finn and Jake's treehouse. The spaceship may be a nod to either Ghost Planet or Cartoon Network Invaded. There's also classics such as
The City of Townsville.
we see the Nudes give their all to fend off Strike. Strike, how could you? The Nudes was an era of Cartoon Network that ran from 2008 to 2010, and probably the era of Cartoon Network I watched the most. I moved to a new town, I had no friends, so I was glued to the TV 24/7 that summer. Endless reruns of Flapjack, Georgia the Jungle, and Chowder. Our heroes make their way through the destroyed city and head towards Strike's lair. As Raven pilots everyone across the chasm, she remarks for them to hang on to her super strong legs, referencing an episode of Teen Titans Go where everyone obsesses over Raven's legs. Yeah, that was a thing. The art style of KO and Garnet's little action sequence may seem a bit rough to you, but I believe this is a nod to various Cartoon Network comics throughout the years, and the charm those art styles tend to radiate. Garnet increases the size of her gauntlets, an ability seen in various episodes of Steven Universe, defeats Strike's traps, and they arrive at his lair. Strike arrives, and before the battle can progress, he proceeds to have a dramatic, drawn-out power-up sequence, an obvious reference to the original Dragon Ball Z, and how long sequences were padded out as filler. So in a way, it's a stuffed Tanami reference. Every Tanami kid knew the pain that at least one day a week, we'd waste an episode on transformations, screamings, and stare-downs. KO figures out how Strike's pen works, something Raven calls out as shoddy writing. KO creates a new Omnitrix for Ben, restores Raven's powers, and Garnet's visor. After a pep talk, Garnet references the name of the show, made me smile, and everyone springs into action. In this world, Ben's Omnitrix no longer turns them into aliens, but rather heroes in the world of Sea and City. Other Cartoon Network characters, Jake the Dog for highest, and shortly after KO launches Ben towards Strike with a power fist, we get the epic, beautiful sequence of Ben's punch time explosion, as he cycles through Robot Jones with his original text-to-speech voice. Festro, Uncle Grandpa, Gumball, Mordecai, Double D, Wirt, Moxie, Grizz, Jeff, Grim, Chowder, Knuckles, Monkey, Super Cow! This made me scream. Johnny Bravo, OG Buttercup, Dexter, and he finishes it all with none other than Finn the Human with his robot arm. A not so subtle yet very powerful ode to Adventure Time. Having Finn deliver this final blow is a nice farewell to Adventure Time while paying it respect as a property that breathed new life into Cartoon Network as we know it. Strike's robot arm being left behind may also be a reference to Finn losing his arm and Come Along With Me. Also during that sequence, the backgrounds are a clear reference to Saiyan's Check It and Checkerbird eras. Know where he came from. Started from the bottom, now we're here. Our heroes restore Saiyan City to its glory, making it better than ever with landmarks from newer cartoons. I really admire how they tried to emulate the original art style for as much of these characters as possible. The studio spots a multitude of references. Screwy, ain't it? Is a Bugs Bunny quote that was also a slogan during the Powerhouse era. This bumper sticker right here says WB for Rona Bros. The PPG license plate and Chemical X bumper sticker indicates this may be an off-color Professor Utonium's car. The Buzz Wagon from Wacky Races is also parked. Neat! We can spot the treehouse from Conan Kids Next Door, Guard's Bodega, Ghost Planet, Billy's house, the movie theater, Titan's Tower, and this familiar-looking dojo. Now, I plan to make a separate video sharing my own theory on how Sea and City functions later in the week. Raven opens various portals for her, Ben, KO, and Garnet to return to their proper shows. And Raven almost returns to the 2003 Teen Titans, instead of Go. Again, an easy but effective gag. Garnet creates a POW card for herself as a souvenir for KO. Notice how her power level are Ruby and Sapphire's gemstones. KO returns home and the special concludes. But before we close out, there are some musical references in this episode too. Each character's introduction is accompanied by a rendition of their show's theme. The new 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 jingle is a motive throughout the episode score. As our heroes head towards Strike's lair, the theme is a slower arrangement of the Cartoon Network Fridays theme. This one really got me in the feels. During Ben's Punch Time explosion, a rendition of the Cartoons theme carries the entire scene, and the good old-fashioned Sea and City theme plays as everything's restored. But you may notice it also pays homage to Lazlo and Blues. You can find that cartoon jingle from 2005. Guys, overall, this was an amazing special when it comes to how many Easter eggs and references they crammed in. While its runtime wasn't ideal, I don't know if they could have made it work as 22 minutes either without dragging it out. Was it the greatest crossover I've ever seen? No, but it didn't need to be. It was fun, it made me really happy, and that's all I needed. But what did you guys think of this special? Was there anything we missed? Let us know in the comments below, or tweet those thoughts to me at AwestruckVox or at Roundtable Vids. We're also on Instagram. If you want to support the Roundtable, check us out on Patreon. Get access to perks. Link in the description. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, share, and if you're new here, subscribe. Hit that bell for notifications to stay in the loop with all things Cartoon Network. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have an awesome day. AwestruckVox, out.